Good morning, friends. I'm so excited to share this quick and easy recipe, easy to remember too, with you. This morning, we are in a unlocking fresh herb flavor this month, and today we're highlighting thyme and parsley. If you check back to last week, we did basil, and the week before that, we did dill. So, and I have some yummy recipes for those herbs as well. For those of you who are just hopping on, I'm Rebecca Connolly. I've been a personal chef for 18 years next month. That's how old my Rebecca's Feast business will be. So I'm totally excited about that. And I am cooking and preparing and meal planning from a culinary nutrition perspective. Now, I didn't know I was doing that for 18 years until recently. Now, what does that mean? Culinary nutrition? It means the delicious comes first, and then we make sure that it's nutritious. So today, as we are baking homemade biscuits, and I'm going to drop the demo for that down below. As we are making homemade biscuits, we are going to be highlighting the health benefits of, yes, using real butter. And the herbs of thyme and parsley. So stick around to the end. I have an exciting announcement for you as well. If you've been keeping up with what's going on in the world of Rebecca's Feast and our group here at Table Talk, we are in VIP launch for my new menu planning toolkits from several different culinary perspectives or culinary nutrition perspectives. So when you grab one of those toolkits, you're going to get early access to the toolkit as well as to our group. Not this group, it'll be a different group that going to have lots of other good stuff in it. So I hope you join me on that adventure. So back to the biscuits. I love to bake on Saturday mornings. And one of the things that my family loves is homemade biscuits. And they are quick and easy to make, don't require a lot of, mental decisions. And you can even use self-rising flour. Which makes it even easier. So let me just, the demo is going to be down below, but what I did was first to preheat the oven I preheated to 450 degrees, but when I popped the biscuits in, I decreased the heat to 425 because 450 to me felt very hot. And I also wanted to give myself, excuse me, a few minutes of a little bit more leeway time. 450 is going to bake those biscuits really quickly, but it also gives them a good lift. So here's what we did, and be sure to check out the demo down below. One of these days soon, I'll have the two cameras going. But we're going to talk about the star of the show first, and that is butter. This recipe takes 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 stick of butter, and then 3/4 cup your milk of choice. So you could substitute in gluten-free flour. You can use unsalted or salted butter, but make sure if you use unsalted that you add that salt back into the recipe. Remember, the salt brings out the flavor. And then for the 3/4 cup milk, if you're using cow's milk, then what I did with that was make it into buttermilk real quick in the microwave, just 10-15 seconds to heat it up a little bit, and then added a tablespoon of vinegar. White vinegar will give it less of a tang than apple cider, but I had apple cider vinegar, so that's what I used. So butter. You can also use shortening. And there are some vegan options to that are just as delicious. It'll give you a slightly different texture on the biscuit, but I love to use butter. So butter is going to give it that flakiness, that taste of butter, that very rich sort of, what we say is buttery, but it's also going to provide essential fats that our bodies need, right? For energy and for nutrient absorption. So fat is not evil. We need it in certain quantities, right? In every day, so that our bodies can absorb nutrients because there are the fat soluble vitamins and such. All right, so we're going to mix together the butter, the 1 stick of butter, and I cubed it up, not too small, but little cubes. You'll see it in the video, and then I added 2 cups of flour, just all-purpose flour. You can use gluten-free. You could cut it with some whole wheat, 1 cup whole wheat, 1 cup all-purpose, just to give it a little bit more nuttiness, a little bit more nutrition. But I would definitely, that'll be a drier dough, so you'll want to add more add more liquid in as you're mixing it together. And then I added the tablespoon of baking powder on top. Okay. And then we're just going to use our hands. I had a pastry cutter, but those things kind of drive me nuts. They don't, I don't know, they always bend. And I like the feel of it because then I can feel how finely the butter is getting ground into the flour. And you don't want to be careful not to overwork it. And you do want some chunks of butter in there so that you get the lift and you get because the evaporating moisture from the butter is what gives the biscuit the lift. So, and then we're going to chop up some fresh thyme and some fresh parsley that I have growing in my indoor garden. And these are both very aromatic. Thyme and parsley are very aromatic, and they add just that burst of freshness, but they also bring their own set of health benefits. So this would be an advantage to use. You could use the dried. If you have the dried, just be aware that it takes a little bit longer for those to hydrate, right? Thyme is very rich in antioxidants and has been used for centuries for its medicinal purposes, its medicinal properties. And parsley is loaded with vitamins, minerals, chlorophyll, and parsley supports the detoxification of the body. So these biscuits are good all around, right? So we're going to mix that up together. We're going to I make a little well in the center of those dry ingredients, add in the homemade buttermilk, and then I mix it together. Still using my hands. You could switch to a spatula or wooden spoon if you wanted to. But again, this kind of dough comes together very quickly, and I like to be able to feel it with my fingers because then I know when it's coming together. Okay. And so homemade biscuits versus biscuits from the store. Homemade biscuits are a great choice for a few reasons, right? Unlike store-bought varieties that have preservatives, artificial ingredients, homemade ingredients, or homemade biscuits allow you to control those ingredients, right? So what was our list of ingredients? Flour, butter, baking powder, herbs, and the buttermilk. Just 5. Salt, if you're not using salted butter. I made the choice one way back when to use salted butter and regularly at home. And now my family, of course, is used to whatever that ratio is in the actual stick of butter. So when I deviate at home, at least, I get a little bit, this taste isn't just quite right. So I need to figure out how much salt to butter is in that butter from the store. Okay, so you can control what goes in them. You can make them gluten-free. You could make them dairy-free. There's plenty of good vegan options for biscuits at home. And, put in different herbs. I use thyme and parsley. What goes really well with that too is maybe a sprinkle of onion powder or some very finely minced onion. I don't know that you want chunks of onion in your biscuit. You could also, before you put them into the oven, you can brush on some more butter on top. I have a chef friend of mine that likes to melt butter in the bottom of the pan or the cast iron pan that she bakes her biscuits in. And then she dips the top in and flips it over so it bakes in the biscuits up butter on top on it. They're delicious. They are very delicious. But I don't do that all the time because I also like to put fresh butter in my biscuit once it comes out of the oven. Okay. So plus making them from scratch on a weekend morning is something fun that you can do with your family, with your kids. And it's also a quick and easy recipe that you can pass on. Okay. So they bake for maybe 8-10 minutes. You'll see in the video, I actually cut them in half. So I had six rectangular ones to start with, and then I ended up with 12. So we've got butter that's providing the essential fats. We've got thyme and parsley for added flavor and nutrition, and this is what we ended up with. Video, there we go. Little square, very fluffy. You can see the herbs in there. Where's my camera? Oh, here we go. See? Nice and high. I like to do my savory biscuits in squares. And then I do my sweet biscuits in rounds. Just a thing. All right. So freshly baked biscuits. And I also have, as if you tuned in earlier this week, I have this blueberry bourbon pecan jam that was part of a foodie club membership that I was gifted for Christmas. So we're going to pop the top on this, or maybe we're not going to pop the top on this. Okay, hold on. How many of you do that? Knock the jar on. Oh, I see. Okay. So while we're waiting for me to be able to open this jar of jam, tell me, what do you like to put on your biscuits. When was the last time you enjoyed a good biscuit? It's still winter season around here, so we have more cold weather that is moving in. So biscuits are great for stew, right? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, that smells delicious. So this is blueberry bourbon pecan, and it's going on. I'm going to try it on our thyme and parsley biscuit from this morning. Thyme and parsley. Let's go back to talking about that for a second. I would definitely, those are great herbs that go into lots of different comforting dishes, like the French dishes come to mind, coq au vin or beef bourguignon, right? Chicken and beef stew. They're very subtle flavors, so you can use them. You can't really overuse them in a dish. All right, and take a little bite. Let's see. There we go. Mm-hmm. Delicious. Add a little bacon on top, and that's going to be irresistible. So thank you so much for joining me this morning for baking biscuits. I hope you try these at home. Now, this recipe you could also easily turn into a sweet scone. Obviously, don't use the thyme and the parsley. Add in some sugar. And I like to sprinkle more sugar on top for a little bit of a crunch. All right. There you have it. That's this week's recipe using fresh thyme and parsley. And don't forget, our menu planning toolkits are in VIP launch as of Friday, March 1st. This will go into official launch, and you get the great VIP price of $19 with all the bells and whistles, all the bonuses. You get early access to our new community menu builders. And I'll be going live in there weekly for Q&A as you work through your 4-module mini course, as well as your 4 weeks of done for you delicious and nutritious menus. Okay, so we're really going to learn how to create those flavorful, irresistible menus that you and your families will enjoy. So please do check it out, and I hope to see you there in our menu builders community. All right, y'all have a great weekend. We are off to go prom dress shopping.